Alright, welcome back. So in this video we're going to work on the magazine here. Now I'm actually going to do a complete overhaul of the magazine because I have something different in mind. And this is just the fact of the matter is you're going to be making these types of changes all the time. You'll have something you think you're going to use and end up not using. So, if anyone comes in here and thinks they're going to get their design or what they're thinking of first try, it's simply not true. So I kind of want to show that process as well. So yeah, I have a completely new idea in mind, and that's fine. We're just going to have to, get started with that. So I'll just delete that piece out. And what I think I'm going to do here is move these two over a little bit. Now you're going to see the Boolean is actually not moving with it. So one thing I like to do is to go to the cutters, and let's just see, I think it's this cutter. What I like to do is actually parent the cutters to their main objects. So I select the cutter, shift click the one it's cutting from, and if you press Control P you can actually parent that. So now check this out, it'll move with it. Now this one we've already applied, so we don't need to do anything else. I'll just turn off the cutters collection, and I'm just going to take these guys and move them. Let me press 5 on the numpad to go into ortho. So I don't know, somewhere over here should be okay, and we can always adjust this if we'd like at any point. So at this point I'm going to add in a magazine and kind of give it a rectangular shape to it. So I'm going to press Shift A, we'll go to Mesh and then Cube. And I'm just going to kind of position this cube roughly where I want it to be. Right about here should be alright. And if we press Control and 7 on the numpad, this will actually take us to the bottom. And as always, you can use tilde as well if you'd prefer. So yeah, we'll just stay on the bottom. And let's just kind of scale this down and just get it in a decent position. Somewhere around here should be okay. I'll make it a little bit thinner. Okay, perfect. So I'm not too sure how big I want this magazine to be. Probably nothing crazy, but enough to kind of resemble a magazine. Let's see. Do you think we could get away with scaling this up a bit? Maybe. Just a few minor adjustments here and there. And I'm just going to tab into face mode, pull this face up a bit. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, so now what I want to do is add a chamfer to all the edges here, but you're going to notice that our scale is not applied, so the bevel is going to be biased. So let's press Control A and then apply scale. So now if we tab into edge mode, you're going to shift select these guys and Control B. That should be enough, maybe a little bit more actually. Okay, I think that's pretty decent. Not a huge chamfer, but just enough to kind of resemble a magazine there. Now let's see what else we could do. Maybe go into face mode and pull this guy down just a bit more. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, and now what I want to work on is just giving it a sci-fi type of look. So what I'm thinking is maybe we could do a slice operation and add a little notch in here to make it look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a single vert. Go to vert mode and let's just, I don't know, position this guy over here. We'll change to increment snap, so now we can extrude, and of course just hold Control. Kind of like this. Then we'll just fill this guy in. And same old, we'll just extrude across. And of course we can just use the slice operation here, so shift click the magazine and then Control / on it to kind of add in that slice. So now we can see the cutter here and make any additional adjustments we'd like. I think it's good where it is, but what I might do is just tab into edit mode and scale this bottom face in just a tad, right around there. Okay, that's not too bad. Now I want to make sure this is encapsulating the whole magazine, so I'm just going to grab that up and scale it over just to make sure it's, covering the entire magazine. So now what I want to do is add in a little notch here in the front, which means we have to apply our Boolean, of course. So let me move this cutter to the cutters collection. I don't think we're going to be moving it anymore. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's go in here. Okay, we can't apply it, so we need to go to the vertex menu, click on that guy, and apply it. So now if we just tab into edge mode, we can select both of these if we want to do it on both sides. I'm not too concerned. I will do it on both sides though, just to give a nice aesthetic design. but my guess is it's not going to bevel right if we press Control B. A lot of people ran into this issue on the SciFi crate design course, and it's a very simple solution. You just select everything, and as we've done before, Shift N to recalculate the normals, and then it will actually bevel in the correct direction. So I'll just do it to both sides. So we could do it like this, or we could do it on additional edges if you think that looks cooler, but I prefer this. So Control B, add in a little notch like that. Kind of gives a nice little effect there. Okay, so next thing I think would be pretty cool as a sort of design really is to tab into face mode. Let's inset this face with the I key and extrude down, and just Control B to bevel that. I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know what you think, but I like it. And don't be afraid to come up with your own design, because, you know, following my design to the T is not going to be as fun and not as much of a learning experience. So, you know, you're more than welcome to make your own aesthetic designs on here, kind of following some of the principles I'm showing. Alright, I have an idea in mind. We're going to see how it works first. I'm going to tab into edit mode and press Control R to add in a loop down through the middle, like that. And you know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and just apply that boolean. Okay, there we go. And on this side we'll do the same thing, Control R. And it's not going to go through because this is an n-gon here, so what we can actually do is just go to vertex mode, and we're going to press J to join those together. And then at this point, if we alt-click this edge, we can give it a nice little bevel with Control B. And then I'm going to just extrude this out along the normals. And actually, before we do that, let me do one more thing. What I'm going to do is add a loop cut through here, but we're not going to be able to because this face is an n-gon, so we're going to have to use the knife tool for this one. So I'm just going to press the K key and just roughly align that in the middle. We'll click, we'll press C to keep it straight, and then press the Z key to cut straight through the object, not just what's being faced on. So then, whoops, I forgot to say, when you do that, click, C, Z, you have to click again. That's one mistake I make a lot. I wish it was changed, but yeah, click again and then press enter and it'll be locked in, like that. So if we just go to this edge here, this edge, and alt-click it, we can do kind of the same thing, Control B to bevel it. Looks like it's not picking up the entire area. My guess is when we applied this boolean, the normals on the top were not correctly oriented. We can even take a look. Let's go to face orientation. Yeah, you can see those normals are not correct. So if we select everything, Shift N, those will flip, and now we can go back in here and press Control B and it should bevel properly. Now I'm going to bevel out to about this point, and then I'm going to bevel again with Control B. This time though, we do have to Alt-Shift click these edges so it's not selecting the faces, and Control B again, and just give a nice little area here in the front. That's not too bad. And then I'm going to do one more knife cut here through the middle. So we'll press the K key, click, C to keep it straight, and then Z key to cut through. And then we'll click and press enter. So now what I'm going to do is just go around to all these faces here. We can just control click like that. And I also want to bring these faces out here. Now I'm going to ignore those because I don't want it to go all the way up. And I should have probably alt-clicked, but that's okay. We're going to select all these. Make sure you didn't miss anything. So E to extrude, but it's not extruding in the right direction, so we're going to right-click to cancel it. And if we press Alt-S, it'll actually extrude in the right direction now. See that? Pretty cool, but it's a little bit uneven here in the corners. So we can just take on offset even to make everything nice and even there. So there we go, it looks pretty good. And I have one other design in mind. I'm just going to see how it looks first. So I think I'm going to add a few cutters in the front here, kind of going diagonal. So we can just start with another, maybe we could do a cube for this one. Add in a cube. Rotate this, let's see, 45 degrees. And then S, Z, Z to scale on the local Z. and then just get something like this. Grab on the Z, and then I'm just going to array this up a few times. So we could duplicate it or just use the array modifier. I'm just going to first move this in a bit, and then if we add the array modifier and change the Z to 1 instead, it'll actually go upwards. So let's change the offset like this. Now you're going to see this is arraying along the normal direction. The rotation has not been applied yet, as you can see. So if we press Control A and apply the rotation, it'll actually move up in the right direction. So we'll just move this down, and then maybe give this 2 more, kind of like that. That looks pretty good. And then what I like to do is mirror this to the other side. So this is a pretty cool trick we can do. If we add on a mirror modifier, we can choose the mirror object to be this magazine here. So click on the color picker, or not color picker, but just the picker tool, and then it's just going to mirror to the other side. Okay, so now all we have to do is shift click this magazine and Control minus to add in that effect. And then we can just kind of position this wherever we want. And the reason I like using the array instead of duplicating it manually is now if we go into face mode, for example, and I rotate one, all the other ones rotate with it. I don't have to rotate each one manually. So I'm just going to rotate this over the Y axis. So R and then Y. Just give that a little bit more bias in there. Just pull it back a bit. Then we'll just move this to the colors collection, and there we go. We have a pretty cool looking magazine. And you know what? I have an even better idea for what to do here. Let's take this cutter, tab into edge mode, and I was thinking if we select these 2 bottom edges and press Control B, we can add in a little bit of a bevel here. So I'm not going to go too far, just scroll up a little bit and then pull it in some. So now it's kind of rounded. I think that looks even better. You could do it to the other side if you want. Man, if I can get my words right. But I don't know, do I like that? Maybe I'll just give it a little bit over there. And now it looks even better. So now I can just move this to the colors collection, and this thing is looking pretty cool. Now we're probably going to keep adding to this design here, but I just wanted to get the general formation down. In the next video though, we're going to add some bevels and start talking about bevels and how they work and what to look out for. So in the next video, just be prepared. This is going to be a lot of info dropped on you, but it won't be anything super complex. So in the next video, we're going to discuss beveling.